Guys, welcome back to my channel and to this episode of social work series. In case you are seeing my face for the first time, I'm Intentional Favor. What I do here for now, basically, I share my life experiences, I share tips on studying abroad in the UK especially, and I also talk about social work and all of those good stuff. So please kindly hit the red subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell so that you get notified each time I upload a new video. So today, guys, we are continuing the second episode of the social work placement that we started last time, and today I'll just be telling you guys some tips, some advice, or some things I would like just tell you when it comes to your placement, things that you should note so that you will have a smooth time during your placements. So guys, I don't think I can exhaust the tips when it comes to social work placement. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure what are these tips, all right? But I know I have some things I have in stock for you, all right? So you are going to enjoy this video really, especially if you are studying social work or you are planning to come and study social work in the United Kingdom. Now, if you've not seen the last video, oh my God, you need to watch that video. So in that video, we laid the background of what social work placement in the United Kingdom is like, what to expect, the facts, and all of those things. So please kindly do, I'll leave the link here, and then you can then come and watch this one, or after this one you can go back to that video. So in that last video, because I'll be making reference to that video once in a while in this particular video, in that video I made mention of the fact that you have two placements. One is 70 days and the second one is 100 days. Now, most times, okay, I don't know, most universities vary, all right? So when I'm telling you things, I can tell you from my experience from my uni, which can be common in about 70 to 80% of other universities, but there will be differences, all right? Just take note of that. But in my uni and most universities, your first placement is usually in the PVI sector, like I said, and the second one is in the statutory sector, that is local authority or council. Now, there are exemptions. Sometimes people get lucky that their first and second placement, I've had people that their first and second placement is statutory placement. Statutory placement means it's local authority placement. You do your placement in the government, local authority and those. So that's what I mean by statutory placement. So sometimes people get lucky that they have statutory placement as their first and second. Oh my God, that's the best you can have. But in situations whereby sometimes you have the first and the second one, the first one can be PVI, then it's advisable that the second one should be statutory. Now, sometimes, because universities are the ones that find your placement, it can be difficult, I must tell you sometimes. But I just want to say something, guys, okay? Your universities, because I've had this case with some of my mates in my uni, they will tell you, because sometimes, I don't know, for whatever reason, statutory placement, some seasons of the year is difficult to find, all right, especially towards the end of the year, all right. So because of that, the university might not find a statutory placement for you. During COVID last year, it was so difficult to get statutory placements for people. So people were doing non-statutory placement, and that allowance was given. But I'm sure it's no longer the same because COVID restrictions have been lifted and things are going as normal as possible in the United Kingdom now, all right? But one advice I want you to take note of is, please, as much as possible, all right, as much as possible, endeavor to make sure that you have a statutory placement. Please, you get why? Your university, for instance, my lecturers, there was a time they were like a colleague of mine, all right, she was like, she needs statutory. They said they can't find and all of that. She had to wait because she has had even, and the university were like, you don't necessarily have to have statutory placement and all of that. Even one of our lecturers said, I never had a statutory placement, yet I got a job and all of those stuff. Yet, this my colleague, when she was doing her placement, social workers alike, qualified social workers in her team, told her that make sure you find that they were giving examples saying that, for instance, they didn't have statutory placement and it was difficult for them to get a job in statutory position when they qualify. Some of them had to start working with the agency. Believe me, guys, as an international student, you are not, even if a citizen or a home student might just do both and they can go and enroll in agency and work for a while, gather experiences, then they can apply, because that's what most of them do. But remember, you know what most of us have in mind when we apply for programs? Visa. Truth be told, you know I'm always real with you. What we have at the back of our mind is visa. All right, and you wouldn't want to have that issue. Now, I've been applying for jobs, and I can categorically tell you that some local authorities, when you apply to them, they will tell you one of the requirements is that you have a statutory experience. I'm not kidding you. That's what you will see. And if you don't have it, they won't even consider you for interview. You won't even pass the interview stage, not talk of anything. All right. So I'm giving you this advice because believe me, I've noticed something that sometimes even lecturers, like innocently, they don't understand what international students go through. They don't really understand it because they are not used to all this visa stuff. If you want to ask your lecturer for anything visa, they will tell you they have no idea. If you mention tier 2 visa, they don't know what it is. So they don't really understand our struggles. So I'm speaking from experience, okay? So please, guys, please, as much as possible, persuade your universities, try on time, explain to them if you can that you need a statutory placement. Be it the 70 days or the 100 days placement, you need a statutory placement. That is one advice I'll give you. Don't bend for 2 PVI sector and non-statutory placement because at the end of the day, when you want to apply for jobs, it might be difficult. A citizen might just come out and no statutory placement, and then even if they have struggles, they'll just go and register with agencies. There are so many agencies, as a matter of fact, they even pay higher than local authorities because all these agencies are working for local authorities because they are short staffed. So they will still send you to local authorities but under agency. But agencies, most of them, they don't give tier 2 visa sponsorship. So that's not what you need. You need a statutory placement. I think I've overflogged this. People will say again that favor is overflogging issues, but I'm laying this emphasis because it's very, very important. Another tip, guys, when it comes to your social work placement is please always be punctual, especially your second placement. Please be punctual. If it's 9 a.m., as much as possible, be there 10 minutes, 15 minutes before 9 a.m. and show up. You don't want to show yourself that you are sluggish, you are irresponsible. And you know, I'm saying this because we are Africans, what we call African time. Most of the people on my channel are Africans. Maybe you are not. But in Africa, that is what we call African time. So if they give you 8 o'clock, you come there by 8:20 or 8:30. It's normal. It's not so here. So please always try to be punctual, and as much as possible, can you try and impress your team? Yes, go out of your way. Others may be doing smell. Please, I wouldn't advise you to do that. Throw yourself into the placement. Do your best. Make sure that your works are outstanding. I'm telling you, that is one thing I made sure I did, that everybody in my team, they were singing my praises. If I take time to read out the emails I got from my team when I was leaving, even my team manager. Now, let me tell you what hard work and the fact that I gave my best to my placement did. All right, so my placement, of course, where I did my placement, they were considering to retain me. Yes, my team manager made sure that he wrote to the management, overall management of the council, saying that, oh, look at this student. I wish I was half as good as she was when I was a student. She is good, her writing, her this. I've had her, some people even saying I've had her communicate with service users unknown to her, and she knows how to empathize, she knows how to do this. We were all singing my praises to the whole team. At a point, even the service manager knew me. She said, oh, I've heard a lot about you. I was just in the office, she just came across me. Oh, you must be the social work student. Yes, I am. I've heard a lot about you. So, and because of that, they went out of the way sending emails to retain me. But of course, the local authority where I work, they don't give sponsorship, and they have one commitment, and they don't understand what that sponsorship is all about, and all. They just declined that. They are sorry. They would have wanted to retain me, but because I told them I want sponsorship. So if I didn't want sponsorship, I would have remained, I would have gotten a job already. Now, assuming that you have a placement in a local authority where they have the sponsorship, like the license to sponsor visa, do your best. That way you will get recommendations, and that way you don't even need to worry about looking for a job. That would have been my story if not because they don't. And you might be lucky when you tell them about it, because when I told my on-site supervisor, all of them, they understood what is sponsorship because they don't know about it. These people don't know, they don't worry about visa. They are already citizens, all right? So make sure you try your best, work hard, impress them, build connection. Oh my God. I don't want to tell you guys the gifts I received from the teams and everything when I was leaving. I've built, like my on-site supervisor, she keeps saying, keep in touch. All of them, keep in touch. And of course, I've made friends and made rightful connections as a result of that. So guys, let me say something I should have said first, probably. Now, when you want to apply for your social work placement, your university should give you a form, all right? So in that form, you will talk about your experiences, blah, blah, blah. They will ask you to make a choice. What is your main, like, what sector do you want to be? Is it children or is it adults? That is one decision you have to make. Now, take this quick advice from me. Now, check yourself. From your lecture, you would have had lectures, children or whatever. You should do a law module. So, for instance, if in the law module, what module do you enjoy? What all these law, Children Act 1984. It's 1989. Children Act 1989. All those Adoption Act. Then is it Mental Health Act or Mental Capacity Act? All those stuff. You might not know this yet if you are a prospective student, but by then you should, even before then, you can decide, okay, I want to work in the children's sector or I want to work in adults. If you want to work in hospital, for instance, you want to be a hospital social worker, you have medical is your stuff, definitely you should be looking at adults, mental health. That's when you can work in hospital and all of those good stuff. All right. So if that's your objective, what you should do at the moment, I'll just advise you. Your first placement, if your first placement with your union, you check with them, is PVI sector. Now, if you know, let me give an example. If you want to specialize in children, please let your first placement be in adults. Then let your second placement be where you want to specialize, children. So that if they send you to a local authority when you finish, like I mentioned before, that retention, they see you are good and dull. And of course, that statutory placement is good. So anywhere that you find opportunity that your university they are going to give you statutory placement opportunity, make sure that that statutory placement is where you really want to specialize. Because statutory placement is what gives you the whole idea of social work. You do work like really is statutory. I don't know how to explain it again, but please make sure that your first placement, if it's in the PVI sector or whatever this thing, make sure that it is in the one that you should do, because I will advise you have experience of both, have experience of children, have experience of adults. It's very, very important. Because at the end of the day, you never can tell which one will work out for you. In my applications and all of those stuff, I apply mostly to children. There was one I just casually applied to adults. Not one, two. One, they didn't invite me for interview. Of course, I know I didn't meet their requirement because my experience of adults is in PVI sector, not statutory. So I didn't even pass. You see the importance of statutory. But one, because I've said it sometime about the fact about care job, support work, blah, 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 and all of those things. I majored on it too. That was one thing that made me to apply to that adult. I told him I have experience working with people with mental health. That's the care job I do and the support work I do. So as a social work student, all right, one thing that is very, very important is all this support work and care job, you can also, focus on them. You can capitalize on them when you are making your applications when it comes to adults and all of those things. So I think I said a lot about it, but you get what I'm saying, right? So if you know where you want to specialize, let that be your last 100 days placement and let it be statutory. So if depending on how your university works, you should know, but my university second placement is statutory. Most universities, that's the case. So make sure that your second placement that is statutory is in the area where you want to specialize. So guys, with that, I think I've come to the end of this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share this video, leave comments in the comment section. I hope you found this video helpful. I really hope you did. And I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. Until then, guys, stay blessed, remain intentional, and take care of yourself. Bye.